you behind the camera of the feature film. So Michael Gracey, thank you. Maybe you can tell us how did you get on board and how did you get this film made and how did you survive?
That's the 1 hour gone right there. How I got this film, I did a commercial 8 years ago now with Hugh Jackman. And we did the commercial, we had a great time doing the commercial, and when the commercial finished, he, during the wrap party, when you're having drinks and everyone's very happy, he said we should do a film together. To which point I actually didn't believe he was true, because what happens when you make commercials with Hollywood stars, they all say that. they all say during the euphoria of a wrap party after a few drinks, we should do a movie together. But true to his form, he then sent me a script for The Greatest Showman. And I get asked a lot, was Hugh my first choice? No, I didn't have a choice in that. He gave me the script. So, yeah.
It would have been great. Thanks so much, Hugh. But I think Robert Downey Jr.
So that was how I came onto the project, and it was a long time in development. Obviously, we had to get the script right. We then had to get the music right. There was a lot of debate in terms of the music, whether we would do a jukebox musical, like a Moulin Rouge. We were very adamant that we create an original musical, but that obviously takes an enormous amount of time. So it was 3 years of songwriting, over 3 years of songwriting, with Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, who at the time nobody knew who they were. So we had a hard time convincing people to even work with them.
All right, thank you. We have a question coming in, and it's from Francesco Gallo, ANSA. The outlet is ANSA News Agency. Please, Francesco, stand up and ask your question.
Allora, avevo una domanda per Jackman. Lei fa un personaggio che da una parte è affascinato dai riflettori, dalla notorietà, e dall'altra invece ha dei valori
nor sound.
Non si sente.
All right, okay, thank you. Yes, the microphone would be a good idea.
Ok, allora una domanda per Jackman. Allora, da una parte lei fa un personaggio affascinato dal successo, dai riflettori, e dall'altra poi un personaggio positivo in cui la famiglia prevale. Volevo sapere lei che rapporto ha con una cosa e l'altra, cioè diciamo il successo e poi i valori familiari.
Myself. I think what's really important to remember with P.T. Barnum was he was born into extreme poverty, where success was not just a wish and a nice dream, it was survival, it was a necessity. He had to actually overcome extraordinary odds, and why he was such a fighter and why he would never accept no for an answer. On top of that, he had this incredible imagination, incredible courage, gambling spirit. He was what we call today a disruptor, like a Steve Jobs. I think he's more like a Steve Jobs or a Bill Gates or an Elon Musk. He saw the world completely differently, and somehow that mixture of things meant he was someone who changed entertainment forever. Me, I don't think I've changed entertainment forever. I certainly didn't. For me, acting was a dream. I loved doing it. It was a joy. If it didn't work out, I would have gone and done something else. You know, it didn't have that same sense of survival and urgency. However, and the other question, sorry, about family. It's difficult for everybody. I don't care whether you're a school teacher or you're an actor, a director, a journalist. Modern life, I think the most difficult thing to achieve is balance. to find the right measure of time for yourself, for your wife or husband or partner or your family life. We seem to read articles about we should be doing this, we should be eating that, I should be exercising like this. There seems to be some kind of nirvana that we haven't reached, and it's difficult to find that balance. I am blessed with an amazing wife who I met before any of this happened to me, and she constantly encourages me, supports me. I know that she loves me no matter what. That kind of security is everything. But if I ever get a little off track and I'm working too hard or my ambition takes over, she's like, come back. And when she does that, I listen.
You're a lucky man.
Yeah, I am a lucky man, you're right. Yeah. Thanks, Francesco.
Okay, we have the next question is coming from
I wish I had a lovely one.
Oscar.
Hello, grazie, buongiorno, complimenti. Avevo una doppia domanda per il regista e per sempre Jackman. Per il regista mi domandavo se oltre i riferimenti evidenti ai musical, visto il tema, ha pensato anche a Freaks di Todd Browning. E a Hugh Jackman volevo sapere se lui vede un po' la congrega del circo come un po' vederla o l'ha vista in qualche momento come dei proto X-Men.
Yeah, I didn't get the end of my question. What was the last bit of the first question?
Se ha pensato anche a Freaks di Todd Browning, i film Freaks, Todd Browning, anni 20.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. That is a very clear reference. We didn't, we looked at, very early on we stopped calling the oddities freaks and we called them oddities. And it means the same thing, but we sort of didn't want to give them this stigma, even though we were focusing on them as individuals and making the most of what it is to be different. So yeah, I did look at that film. I looked at, there's a few films that reference freaks and you know, what it is to be different, but we sort of went on that path of trying to humanize people who were disfigured or different. And so those films are a little more harsh in their depiction.
Definitely, the theme in this movie of tolerance and acceptance runs right through the whole X-Men mythology, from the comic books to the movies. It's the same actual thing. This is a true story. Back in the 1800s, the oddities, as they were known, were largely locked up in basements or back rooms. They were filled with shame, not only them, but the families. They were considered cursed by God in some cases. So if they were in entertainment, it was, as many people know from the movie Elephant Man, it was a seedy world full of terrible exploitation, borderline slavery. What Barnum did was bring them out into the open and not only make them be stared at, but make them loved. And he really walked the talk. Tom Thumb lived in his house for many years, in fact got married in his house. A lot of the those performers at the time became very, very wealthy and loved all over the world. And so it's a very strong theme in our movie. It's one I'm really proud of in the movie. I have two teenagers. There's not a teenager on the planet who doesn't feel like a freak or an oddity in some way, shape or form, and desperately trying to conform. And what our movie is saying, don't spend your energy on conforming. Spend your energy on owning who you are. Be proud of who you are, because what makes you different makes you special.
Okay, they're still writing, so just a few seconds. And Chiara, just the next question is coming from Chiara, but hold on, Chiara, I would like to ask something to Zendaya and Zac. And well, since this movie is about performing in a very large sense of the word, you sing, you dance, you act. Have you had the chance to stop for a moment while shooting and think about your own experience in the show business, you could relate very well with this story.
Yes, I largely could relate to Philip in a number of ways. I think I saw Philip as this guy who had sort of achieved success in every sort of way possible. He had ticked all the boxes, so to speak. He had, he has acclaim, he has money, he's got, in theory, everything a man could really desire. Yet he still finds himself incredibly unhappy and unfulfilled. And, they say it's very lonely at the top. There's a saying that says that. And really, it's when he meets P.T. Barnum that he realizes there's much more to life than what he's accomplished or what he has, material possession-wise. That there's love, and he finds it on the first day going with P.T. Barnum when he meets Ann Wheeler at the circus. And it's kind of taboo at the time, the relationship, but against all odds, they are able to sort of be together. So I really enjoyed that story, and I can kind of relate to it in different ways, which I wanted to go into.
I didn't even get to jump into that.
Yeah.
It's very lonely to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing I think relating to my character for me was, and what drew me to the role was this relationship, this forbidden love, being told by the world who you're supposed to love, and I think it's so relevant now, and we still hear it, and it's sad, but it's still a thing. And for me, coming from an interracial relationship, I think it's so important that love and your heart should always be louder. And that should always be the thing that you follow. And I think that is shown up in so many different versions in this movie, but specifically, in this love story, I think it's brave what they're doing, because, if you think about the dangers of the time, that it's dangerous to be together. It's more of a risk physically, So it's the constant battle of mind and heart, but I think we all go with heart in this room, and so that's what really made me want to be here.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Ok, Chiara?
Io ho due domande velocissime. Una è per tutti, ricollegandomi a quello che ha detto Hugh Jackman prima. Si può considerare questo film come un omaggio musicale, un'ode alla diversità, e che valore pensano che avrà questo film, soprattutto in questo momento storico che stiamo vivendo? E poi una domanda piccola a Zac Efron: ha fatto altri musical, però questo è musical puro, si sente un po', per citare il film, come se fosse tornato a casa?
What am I supposed to answer what?
No, you're just the second one.
What's director? What was the first one? Do you want to answer this one?
First one,
Music? Yes, this movie definitely has, there's a number of themes in it. I think we are watching the birth of modern America, the idea that it's your hard work and talent and imagination that defines how far you get in life, necessarily. But I think the theme that came through stronger and stronger as we developed it was this one of acceptance, this one of diversity, and certainly the song "This Is Me," when that was written, I think it might have been our 4th or 5th song written, around about in there. The moment I heard it, I started to cry listening to it. It is a real anthem that I think will live for many, 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 many years. And I think even to this day, you were saying the same things, and that I listen to that song now and it chokes me up, because we all have some part of our life that we would prefer that no one knows about. I'd like you to see all of this, but not that bit, that I'm not really thrilled about that. And it's really a song about owning who we are and just finally going, you know what, I don't care what you think. I love this kind of food and this kind of music, and I want to wear these clothes, and I want to love that kind of person, and I want to live here, and this is what I want to do for a job. And that moment is the most liberating thing. And so when you have it in song and you have it performed so beautifully by Keala, I think it touches everyone. There's very few people who watch that scene without tearing up, because it's relevant. So hopefully that is a very powerful part of the film for viewers.
Yeah, and to your point, even though, you know, it's set in the 1800s, it's completely relevant, if not more relevant today.
Right.
Which, you know, in some ways is sad, but true.
Yeah. What was your question? Was it like
you
coming
back home?
Oh yeah, you're coming back to music.
Was it more comfortable?
Come on, Zac.
Yeah. Come on, Zac. I think, I mean, I love musicals. They're just, it's something I was raised on. I literally watched Singing in the Rain yesterday during lunch.
Did you?
Yeah, it happened to be on the movie selection here at the hotel. And yeah, there's something about playing, you know, or portraying a character in a forbidden love story that is just in my blood. So yeah, I really, I did love it. It would be, I guess,
Your fifth movie musical.
Fifth movie musical.
Yeah.
And then a lot of other stage ones that were not. Like my 50th. That were never filmed or were on VHS tapes somewhere in my parents' house. But yes, it was coming home in a certain respect. Also, it was completely new and taken to a whole other level by this group of people and by Michael and Hugh and Zendaya. And yeah, there was a whole new set of challenges which made it really fun.
Okay, we have a question coming in.
I am Annalisa. Good morning. Vorrei chiedere questo film, che cosa lo ha affascinato tanto di Barnum come uomo? Cioè, c'è qualche cosa di particolare che lei ha letto, ha saputo, ha sentito verso questo protagonista? E poi al regista volevo chiedere una cosa tecnica. Qual è stata la scena più difficile da realizzare del film? Grazie.
I am fascinated, thanks for your question, I am fascinated with characters that we now call disruptors. These people who totally make their own path in life and have a determination to get there. They see something and they also have the grit and determination to see it through. He had this innate knowledge about what people want. There's a great story when he was 16 working in a grocery store and someone came in selling 500 green used bottles, glass bottles, and he bought them for $1. And he set up a lottery system where you could buy tickets, and if you sold all the tickets, they would have sold $10. And so it was a $9 profit. And the owner found out about this scheme that he had. He's 16 years old and was furious and said, "You're fired." And he says, "Please, just wait until the end." He says, "But you have no prize." As he's cleaning the 500 bottles, he says, No, it doesn't matter about the prize. He says, "Of course, you've got a lottery. You need to have a prize." He says, "What you don't understand, sir, is that people care more about the idea of winning than the prize itself." Now, that was a 16-year-old. He had this innate knowledge of what makes people tick, and that's why he could turn lemons into lemonade. He got the worst review in the history of the world. We've all read that review, which we actually use in the movie. If that review had been said about me when I began, I would have run to the hills and done something else. And he reprinted that review in every newspaper in New York because he knew that there's no such thing as bad publicity. And he turns that disastrous thing into actually one of the turning points. So that kind of character who is constantly optimistic, tough, there's a grit to Barnum. It's something that fascinates me. And also, he's a flawed character. He needed acceptance. He really, deep down, even though there was a little anger at the world, that he was going to succeed and everyone was going to love him no matter what. And there's a lot in the story that I thought, and Michael and I thought, that would really sort of beef out a whole movie where it wasn't just about success. There was many obstacles for him to overcome. But just before I pass on to Michael, I want to be really clear. I did invite Michael to be the director of this movie, but this movie would not have happened without Michael. Now, I say this and I mean it. The real P.T. Barnum of this movie, the man who, no matter what throughout the process, and there were people, including me, who were like, "I'm not sure if this is going to happen." There was one person from the beginning who believed fully in the way P.T. Barnum would, and that was Michael Gracey.
Thanks, man. So
100% true.
Yeah.
100%.
So to answer your question about what was the most challenging, I mean, there was probably two numbers that may involve every person to my right. So Rewrite the Stars with Zac and Zendaya was incredibly challenging, just because they were flying around on ropes and swinging, and there was a lot of times when the two of them went slammed into each other. And so it was a lot of work to make it look graceful and effortless. Yeah. And credit to the two of them, because we went take after take after take to make that number look as beautiful as it does. And it was physically exhausting. Like it was such a demanding number. And then the other one was the other side, which is both Hugh and Zac. And again, that was all about timing, and it was very split-second timing in terms of what they were doing. And there's no CGI there. Those glasses are real, and they are throwing them.
I'm in a hot sweat just looking at these glasses.
They were throwing them up and down the bar and catching them, and it literally was on the word that they had to catch, drink, sing, put the hat on. The complexity of that number. And again, the two of them spent over 2 months rehearsing that.
We did, and then on the day, there were other elements that we didn't predict.
That's right.
Involved. Like, well, we practiced in a controlled environment, and on the actual day we shot, we were amongst real circus performers with flaming torches and juggling.
Yeah, I never wanted to make it easy.
We both had about 140 shots of whiskey. It was a lot.
So yeah, both those numbers were challenging, and then on the flip side, so satisfying to watch.
I'm pretty sure we have a new question, which is also probably the last one. Okay. By the way, these are the greatest Italian journalists, of course.
Buongiorno, mi chiamo Valerio e volevo sapere, benché siamo in un contesto, un mondo, un'epoca completamente diversa, volevo sapere da Hugh e dal regista se durante le riprese avete mai pensato a un signore italiano che sul circo ha proiettato una buona parte della sua immaginazione, che si chiama Federico Fellini. Grazie.
Of course. I mean, obviously, to me, he is one of the all-time great filmmakers, and you know, his work is a huge influence for me, and also other filmmakers that I admire, like Terry Gilliam. You see Federico Fellini's influence in his work, so you can't go past, you know, one of the all-time great filmmakers. There are moments in this film where I would look across at the circus and you would see people in the smoke and silhouetted, and I literally in my head would smile and think, you know, this could be a Fellini film.
Yeah. And Roberto Benigni, the actor, you know, of course, he charmed everybody when Life is Beautiful became. Did it win the Oscar?
Yeah,
I think he won the Oscar.
Yeah, he won Best Actor.
When he stood up on the chairs and walked over Steven Spielberg's head, I think that was one of those.
I was one of the influences in history of Canada.
Yeah. But for us, for me, and I'm sure for everyone here, no one knows how to live life better and celebrate life more than the Italians. When I was 18, I had a tape from my friend Anna, who lived in Bologna. She gave me a tape of Zucchero, which I listened until it literally split. So I listened it over and over again. Yeah.